College football fans, what's going on? It's JD Yankee here with Daily Bread Media. Yes, here to talk about Pac-12 Conference Championship future odds. This is going to be the first of an off-season venture I will be embarking upon with my friends at Daily Bread Media. They're a great group of guys. If you haven't given them a look, it's where this video is going to be produced. It's where I'm going to be venturing on an off-season preview series where I'm looking at anything actionable in college football, the landscape of college football, to help you guys get prepared for the season, have some of the best information possible going into the season. That's the goal anyway. If you haven't given me a look, Yonkers CFB is the YouTube channel, at Yonkers CFB, on Twitter, but I don't want to plug too much of my stuff. I'm here with the guys at Daily Bread Media, here to get started. So, odds were released at BetOnline for Pac-12 future odds, and I have thoughts. This is going to be the first video because the odds were just released, and I have thoughts. The odds are not correct. They need correcting. I'm here to correct them. Help correct them. We can correct them together. The market will correct them, as they should. So, this market's still just opening up. It's the first to market, so it means there's going to be others opening up across various books. I live in California. I don't have great access to these sites. Hopefully you do. Shop around. But this is going to set the market. It's going to help set the expectations for the Pac-12. And the expectations are not correct, so I want to reset those expectations. So, let's get started here. First on the board, USC was listed as the favorite, 2-1 odds. Those odds have moved slightly. They're now slightly behind Oregon. So I'm going to hit both of the top contenders because I do not think they should be. I am not in favor of betting these favorites. So I'm going to hit both of them. Both of them I will be hitting from a knocking them down a peg point of view. So USC apparently is the favorite, even though now Oregon's slightly above them. They opened as the favorite. There's a lot of new faces for the Trojans. Obviously, the big news, I'm sure you've heard, Lincoln Riley went over from Oklahoma. Looks to usher in a new era for West Coast football. Basically looks to shift the paradigm of the power out west, so to speak. I think it's difficult to overstate how big of a move this is for the Pac-12. I'm a huge college football fan, but huge in the Pac-12 as well. I know there's not a lot of huge Pac-12 fans, so this is huge for us on the West Coast. That being said, to get a coach like Lincoln Riley, that being said, I'm not sure it'll pay dividends this year, folks. I'm really not sure. In the way the odds are set up, they're thinking it'll pay immediate dividends. They do bring in a lot of transfers, most notably Kalen Williams, quarterback from Oklahoma. Also brought Mario Williams, wide receiver. Both of these guys are primed for huge years. Of course, there's talk they might get Jordan Addison, wide receiver, in the portal. Looks like he's now headed to Texas is the latest intel, but still not set in stone. Either way, they're getting a lot of transfers. Travis Dye, running back from Oregon. The offense is going to be really good. That being said, this team is not the overwhelming favorite in the Pac-12. The odds, they're not like the favorites, right? They have dog odds, but they should have higher odds. They rank 94th in returning production. A lot of those transfers are expected to fill in. A lot of them are due for big years. But the defense has a lot of holes. There's still a lot of questions along the D-line. There's questions in the secondary. There's questions in the offensive line. Too many questions. This is not a team I want to be betting on for the favorite. I think down the road, going to pay huge dividends for Lincoln Riley. Are they going to win the Pac-12 in year one? They could. I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying they shouldn't be lined as the favorite. Oregon opened with 11-5 odds. So nearly 2-1 odds, nearly the same as USC. They have since moved to the favorite. We have Dan Lanning in year one, another year one coach. He's a young whiz kid. He's 36 years old. He was brought in from Georgia after Mario Cristobal left for Miami. Folks, he was mainly brought in for his recruiting. He's never been a head coach before. It's not like this is a huge immediate upgrade at head coach. I pull for Oregon. Full disclosure. I root for him. My brother went there. I'm not some delusional fan. I don't think Dan Lanning's immediately going to come in and be better than Mario Cristobal. I think that's discounting the fact that Mario Cristobal was hired away from Miami Scrambled last second. Goddamn Lanning. A lot of people think it's a great hire. He's going to be great for recruiting. He's going to pay dividends down the line, similar to what I said about Lincoln Riley. Year one, he's never been a head coach before. He's 36 years old. He was coaching defense at Georgia. Georgia, they had 15 NFL draft picks. It's a little bit different now running the whole show in Oregon. He could be great. Year one, I'm not expecting him to run the table. I think that's completely unreasonable of an expectation. The offense under Kenny Dillingham, you have a new offensive coordinator, you have a new defensive coordinator. The offense, they're saying all this nice stuff. It sounds like good offseason quotes. They're saying they're going to return to the Chip Kelly days. That's basically just a headline grabber, folks. I hope they play fast. I hope they're going to be fun. They still have questions at quarterback. They have questions at wide receiver. I don't know. Is Bo Nix the answer at quarterback? He's a veteran. We've seen him a lot. What have we seen from him? Hasn't been the greatest most of the time. They played Georgia week one. Bo Nix is the secret answer to beating Georgia? Bo Nix? Ask Auburn fans. I don't know. Not so sure about that one. I think they have a lot of really talented wide receivers. I think it's actually going to be a very surprising wide receiver course. I'm not going to talk down there. But there's questions in the running back room too. I don't know. The defense regressed significantly a year ago. I think that's one thing college football fans aren't really paying attention to. They have a fantastic linebacking core. Front seven should be pretty good. But the secondary is a huge question mark. Huge question mark. I think they're going to remain right near the top of the division because it's Oregon. They won't fall too far. They will be there. Hopefully in the Dan Lanning era, they will be there every year just like they have been. Assuming they're going to be there, which is where the odds indicate, that's incorrect. Oregon and USC are only the top two, odds-wise, because of their name value. So, I'm not a fan of either of those two picks. What I am a fan of, burying the lead, opening at 5-1 odds, totally burying the lead. There's a favorite in the Pac-12. There is a favorite in the Pac-12. They're being lined 5-1 to open. It's now been bet down to plus 375 already. Those odds have not adjusted enough. The favorite in the Pac-12 is Utah. What the hell are these odds? What the hell are these? It's because they're Utah. They don't have the name brand of Oregon or USC. Utah's the favorite in the Pac-12. Let's not get it confused. They won a year ago. They lost in the Rose Bowl to a good Ohio State team. They're the favorite. They are. Are they going to win? It's not guaranteed. Of course not. But their odds should be much, much better than they are. I think this warrants a bet. Absolutely. On Utah. They finally found their answer in quarterback and Cam Rising a year ago. He's a dual threat. I'm not sitting here saying he's not Joe Montana back there. But his dual threat ability really opens up the offense, what he can do with his legs. As soon as he was inserted into the starting lineup a year ago, I'm not sitting here trying to toot my own horn. I posted on Twitter. Their seats are there. I said Utah's going to win the Pac-12. Why? Because the Pac-12's wide open. It is again this year. I don't even want to say wide open because Utah's the favorite, and they should be the favorite. So I don't even know if it's wide open. It's Utah, and then you drop down a peg. I like Cam Rising. I like what this team returns. They're going to be good offensively. They're going to run the shit out of the ball. Cam Rising's a good upgrade at quarterback. They return two of the best tight ends in college football. They're very, very, very well coached under Kenny Dillingham. This is a dangerous team. They're going to beat Florida in week one. Line was around to pick them last I checked. Bet it. They're going to beat Florida week one. And if they don't, who gives a shit? It doesn't count against their Pac-12 record. There was a youngish defense a year ago. They do lose actually a lot of production, so it's kind of but some of that was from Devin Lloyd. So a lot of that's misleading when you look at the numbers. They returned a lot of good pieces, a lot of pieces that are going to take a step forward. Notably, Clark Phillips, a cornerback, might be the highest drafted Pac-12 player. They consistently reload on defense. I'm not worried about that returning production number. I'm not worried about what is there to worry about. They're the favorite. I'm curious to see how they look as the favorite because they are the favorite. If the odds indicate it or not, market should eventually correct. These odds are not correct whatsoever. Utah is the favorite in the Pac-12. All right, some long odds I'm going to look at. I'm not really interested in the middle tier. Arizona State somehow had the fourth highest odds, 17-2. They're one of the worst teams in the league. They're a program in turmoil. They're having even more players in the transfer portal. That's a joke. UCLA 17-2. I think those are correct odds. They're going to be a good team. They'll be somewhat near the top, but that defense, they haven't shown they can string together that defense. Washington 11-1. I could see them. Kalen DeBoer, I'm a big fan of that hire. 11-1. Not good enough odds. Not enough meat on the bone, so to speak. That program name's holding a little bit too much value. Cal at 66 to 1. Could the offense finally take a step forward? I'm not going to bet on it. Why would it? We haven't seen any signs. Wilcox shows like they're going to be in the middle tier. They could be a good team. They could get close. I guess you could say those odds are too wide. Stanford's going to suck. Colorado's going to suck. Arizona might actually be decent at 500 to 1. That's probably a little bit too wide, but I won't be betting that. Ones I would take a look at. Oregon State at 40 to 1. You're never going to talk me off an Oregon State bet. I'm not recommending it this time. But I do think these odds are a little too wide. I love what Jonathan Smith's doing with his program. They're consistently churning out more with less. Consistently. Anytime a program does that, I pay attention. They still don't have a bankable starting quarterback. Looked like they were in the running in the transfer portal, JT Daniels. He opted to not go to Corvallis. I would have loved to see him in Corvallis. He opted to go to West Virginia, went to Morgantown. The defense is a ways behind. They have some fixing up to do, but I think Oregon State is definitely in the upper crust, and they're not being lined like it. The team I am interested in, the long shot I will mention, Washington State at 33 to 1. The odds haven't moved. They opened 33 to 1, still 33 to 1. Only a couple days ago it opened, but I think the odds will move. I'm recommending the odds should move. Yes, these odds are too wide. If you're looking for a team to be totally changed from a year ago, Washington State could be that team. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm saying out of anyone, they check the boxes, folks. Eric Morris is their new offensive coordinator. Where does he come from? An FCS school. Okay, cool, who cares? I care. That FCS school is Incarnate Word. They averaged 39.5 points per game in 2021. Pretty much 40 points per game. They put up big numbers. I expect those to translate. I think it was a great offensive coordinator hire. Cameron Ward is their new quarterback. Cameron Ward. Not familiar with the name? Get familiar with the name. Cameron Ward. He's going to have a big year. He's going to be a breakout star. You're looking for the next Bailey Zappi? I'm not saying he's going to be Bailey Zappi, but I don't see how anyone else is in the running for the next Bailey Zappi. The only name on the list is Cameron Ward. This guy threw for 4,600 yards a season ago and 47 touchdowns. That's special. He played in a wing T offense in high school, not that long ago, a couple years ago. A wing T offense. Barely threw the ball. Threw for like 1,000 yards his senior year. Barely threw the ball. Then he goes to the FCS. His freshman year, he wins the Jerry Rice Award in 2021. First year out of high school. Goes from wing T to winning the Jerry Rice Award for the most outstanding freshman player in the FCS. Who the hell does that? That's crazy. He broke the Incarnate Word single-season passing record in just 6 games. 6 games. He broke their record, the school record, for a season in 6 games. After playing in a wing T offense the year before. Followed that up, got way better. His numbers a year ago, way better. Now he gets to ease the transition. So you're saying, great, he's stepping up in competition. Well, he's going to the Pac-12. He's not going to the SEC. He's going there with his coach. One of his top wide receivers just transferred there, just announced 2 days ago. He's going there with him. They got some great wide receivers. You're looking for a breakout name at wide receiver? Deshaun Stribling. There's your name. It's his second year in Pullman. Going to be playing out wide. It's a good young wide receiver. He's going to have a breakout year. Bernard Bell in the slot's going to have a big year. This offense is going to be great. They are. They're going to have some issues running the ball. So I don't know if I want to say great, but they're going to put up points. They're going to average over 30 points per game. Anytime you average over 30 points per game in a league that's wide open for the taking. It's not like USC's a juggernaut. Like I said, USC can win. Utah, I think Utah's a damn good team. They're going to challenge for the playoffs, but Washington State's going to be right there. They're going to be scoring 30 points. It's going to be a hard out. Defensively is the obvious concern. I'm not pretending they have a great defense. What I will say is there's at least positive signs on that side of the ball. Jake Dickert, it's going to be his first year as the full-time head coach. He was retained as the interim head coach following the Nick Rolovich disaster, the vaccination disaster. He was ousted. Jake Dickert took over, did a good enough job to be retained. I'm not sitting here saying he's the best coach in the Pac-12, but I think he did an admirable job in tough circumstances a year ago, and he was the defensive coordinator. He's a defensive-oriented guy. I think there's reasons you could at least expect maybe some improvement on that side of the ball as far as I'll go. I just don't think you see these kind of opportunities often. I think this line is pretty far off. Like, at worst, I think they should be lined 15 to 1 at very worst. So I think these odds are pretty insane. Other than that, that wraps up the show. Utah should be lined as way more of a favorite. Washington State, the odds are insane. Don't make any sense. Somebody's not paying attention. We're going to be making a lot of these videos in the offseason. I hope you give this one a chance. I'll be finding somewhat entertaining. My goal is to provide actionable information while also being somewhat entertaining. Hopefully I check some of those boxes. We're going to be back. Next video, we're going to be looking at next week. Week 1 lines. We have college football betting lines. It's way too early, but we're going to set the expectation. We have betting lines open, so might as well take a look. That's what we're going to be looking at next week. We have a whole off season of content planned. Once again, JD Yonke, at YonkerCFB on Twitter, YonkerCFB on YouTube. This is Daily Bread Media. Have a fantastic rest of your day.